everyone. Today we're going to be talking about shedding. So if you have a dog who you're constantly vacuuming and sweeping and trying to find unique ways to keep your dogs from shedding, this is going to be the video for you. So certain dogs shed, some dogs don't, however even those can. So I always tell people be careful when you try to buy dogs that are supposed to be non-shedding dogs, because those don't always exist. And I say that for a reason, because I had a client years ago who bought a golden doodle who was supposed to be a non-shedding dog, and the dog actually shed, and she ended up falling in love with this dog and had to get rid of it because her child was very allergic to it. It was really a sad story. So I also always recommend to people, there's no such thing as a hypoallergenic dog. There just isn't. There's numerous reasons why a person can be allergic to an animal. So it's not always about their hair, their coat, their fur, their dander, whatever you want to talk about. Sometimes it can be their saliva. So you want to be really careful. But today we're going to be talking about the shedding dogs. This is a pug. They are known to shed an enormous amount of hair. Similar to the Labrador Retriever, the Beagle, trying to think of all the breeds that could be shedding like this. These short-haired dogs, your French Bulldogs, those kind of dogs are going to be shedding type dogs. I used to breed miniature dachshunds years and years ago. And it was very interesting because people think long-haired dogs shed more than short-haired dogs. Well, I used to breed Dachsies, and my female would birth long hair. I'm using terms that I think people, I didn't want to say throw, because I didn't think any, I want to make sure you guys are knowing what I'm talking about. My female dog would give birth to both long hair and short hair. So I would get phone calls from people saying they want the short hair because the short hair is going to shed less. And so I would always encourage them to come to my house to look at the puppies in a white t-shirt. And then I would hand them both the long-haired dachshund and the short-haired dachshund, and every single time when they would put the dog down, they would realize that the short hair actually shed more than the long hair. So don't assume that you have a short hair dog, he's not going to shed. Sometimes the short hair dogs definitely can shed more than, and ask anybody who owns a golden retriever and owns a Labrador Retriever, and they will tell you the difference. So let's talk about this a little bit. So this is actually going to be very fun and interesting for me, because I promise you I have never done this before. So what you're going to see is completely me doing a little bit of an experiment. So, and please know that I'm not experimenting on anything that's going to hurt a dog, so don't worry about that. What I'm experimenting with is ozonated coconut oil, which I've used on dogs forever, but I haven't used it for shedding purposes, so I'm going to attempt something. So what I want to talk about a lot is de-shedding shampoos and de-shedding tools is what we're going to be mostly talking about today. The experiment we're going to do is we're going to do half of this dog in a de-shedding shampoo, and the other half I'm going to do an ozonated coconut oil. Now here's my theory. This is my hypothesis. Neither one of them is going to work. So this isn't a plug for ozonated coconut oil, though you know I love it, and I could be wrong, and when I do this, maybe the ozonated oil, or coconut oil is going to work, and that'll be fabulous for me to find out. What I do know is that de-shedding shampoos don't work. A lot of times you go somewhere and the word Furminator has become synonymous for any product, although that is a name brand of something. So a lot of times people will say they want to get their dogs Furminated, but that doesn't always mean that they're using that brand's shampoo. And I'm not here to call out any brands. I'm just here to tell you that I have used some of the top brands in the industry for de-shedding, and I have not found any of them to work. However, I do know what does work, so we're going to be talking about that towards the end of the video. But for now, we're going to all do this fun little experiment together, and I'm not lying to you. Like, I'm even myself nervous that this is going to make me look stupid. If ozonated olive oil works for shedding, I'm going to be super, super excited. So, but here's a tool that I'm going to use. This is the tool that I use for de-shedding animals, or helping the process a little bit. Now keep in mind, the animals that are shedding animals will always shed. It's a natural response for them to do that. But there is a difference between naturally shedding and, oh my goodness, I can't even go anywhere, my house has got piles and I could make 5 other dogs out of it. That is something different, and we're going to be talking about how we're going to do that. But This little tool is one of my favorites because it is super safe for your dog. And you know, of course, that's what I care about more than anything, is the safety of your pets. So this is a rubber tool. I could do whatever I want with it and it's not gonna hurt. It happens to, you can just pull it over your dog like this, and you can see, hopefully the camera's gonna pick up how much hair I'm pulling off of my little pug here. He hasn't been bathed yet, so we're gonna pull some of this coat off, right? And you can see how much is coming off. Now, keep in mind that a regular bath will help pull a lot of this out. So a regular bath will do that. So, but what we want to test, what we're going to be testing, is if I put a de-shedding shampoo on his right side and just regular conditioner, or I'm sorry, I'm going to use ozonated olive oil on his left side. Right side is going to be the shampoo. Is there going to be a difference? That's what I want to know. Is there going to be a difference? I know that I can pull coat out, but will I pull more coat out using one versus the other? Which is the claim that a lot of de-shedding shampoos say, is that if you use a ozonated, or I mean if you use their de-shedding shampoo, that it's going to pull out and your dog's not going to shed anymore. So I think you can get the same results using just this tool and soap and water as you can get from using a de-shedding shampoo. But we're going to prove that today. But I also think if you do what I'm going to tell you at the end of this video, your dog will shed less, be happier, healthier, and you will be all that much more rich because you didn't waste a bunch of money. So here we go. All right, so this is the tool I like to use. Now I'm going to tell you a couple of tools. This is another tool I like to use. So this, I'm going to compare these two so you can see them, okay? So these tools have a little hook on them. So it's long and it's got a little hook. Depending on the length of your dog's coat, depends on how far the little grips go. So you can see these are much closer than these are. So if you have a long-haired dog that is a shedding dog, you would want to use the tool that has a little bit more width in it. If you have a shorter dog, like a Labrador, you could use this tool. So I'll use these. It's not my preferred way, but sometimes the rubber tool isn't quite getting what you want it to do. But here's what's super important. This is probably the one, I'm going to say the most important thing in this video because I don't want your dog to get injured. So like I told you, this has a hook over it. So I can rub this over. It's not as soft and as nice as the rubber that I really think you should use, but it's not going to harm your dog. It can if you go too hard. It's all right, Paisley. This is Paisley, by the way. He's a pug, and he is 9 years old, so he's awesome. He hates his anal glands done in his nails, so we're not going to do that on camera. Now, there's tools out there that look like this. The base looks like this, and it has a handle on it, but it looks just like a blade. And the idea is that you run this all over your dog, okay? I'm not here to call out companies or talk about things, but I am here to tell you that if you're buying anything for de-shedding of your dog that has anything that looks or resembles a blade on it, you have to be extremely careful. I get dogs in here all the time that people have been using these types of tools and they can't see what's going on. So the idea is you take it and you kind of go like this. I'm going very soft because I'm so against these tools. And I get these dogs in here and then I take the blow dryers on them and I can see all the scratch marks all over their body, because people don't realize that just because your dog isn't responding to it, it could be hurting them. So yes, they will help de-shed your dog, but they can do it in a very painful way. So, okay, so those are the tools. So just to recap, this is the tool I want you to use. If this isn't working, then the next things you can jump to are these, but make sure it has some safety for your dog. Super important. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to do this little tester with you, Paisley. What do you think? What do you think? Okay, so I'm going to get him a little bit wet. I'm not going to do a full bath like I normally do, so please don't be judgy on me. I'm just doing, like I'm getting him wet, and then I'm going to lather him up. He's going to sit in it for about 15 minutes, and of course, then we're going to come back and show you, or show ourselves. It's like my little science experiment. It's okay, Paisley. Come on, you're supposed to be the show. You're the star. You're the star, okay? Alright, so I'm going to wet him down really well. Again, I'm not doing like I normally would do. I'm going to take the de-shedding shampoo. I'm not showing you guys what it is because I'm not here to, you know, do that. I'm just here to show you that some of the de-shedding shampoos that are out there aren't necessarily all, there are to be, all, what is it, all cracked up to be, or whatever that saying is. Okay, so I'm going to lather him up on this side, and we're going to find out. Does that feel good? Look at him turn his little butt. Yesterday I was bathing a dog, a big German Shepherd. I have a video of it. I should post it for you guys to see. And every time I touched his butt, he licked his mouth, just like you. Are you doing that too? No? You're just turning your, yeah? You are? Oh, that feels so good. So I used this full strength just so we can get the best results we can get from it. You could also dilute it if you want. They say for really good shedding that you want to use it full strength. So I will do that all over. And remember, this is Paisley, so we don't forget later, this is Paisley's right side that we put the de-shedding shampoo on. The right side, okay? The right side. What I ought to do is not do anything on that side and compare it. Maybe I should do that. No, we'll do the ozone. We'll see. No, actually, I don't think we are going to do the ozone. We'll have to do it on a later video. But I'll do a whole nother experiment next week on the ozone. You know why? Because I want to show you the difference that the de-shedding shampoo doesn't make them shed, it doesn't pull out any more hair than a regular bath does. So I can't use the ozone. So scratch all of that I said. This is how my life goes every day. We're just going to do regular shampoo and de-shedding shampoo. Look at my hand. Look at all that hair. That is, like, now it looks like gray soap. It's a lot of hair, Paisley. This is going to be a fun, you're a good, fun experiment. Feel good. Okay, so he's going to get all that on him. And then I'm going to take a mild baby, it's not baby shampoo, but I'm going to take a really mild shampoo that we have here. Where's the, Sergio, do you have the puppy tears?
Yeah.
Can you grab it for me? I have some diluted, but yeah, I don't want to use the diluted one because I want to be kind of equal. Thanks. Alright, so I'm going to take a regular shampoo that we use that's a light shampoo. I'm going to use it full strength as well. And I'm going to put it all over his left side. Paisley, Paisley, Paisley. This is what I would do. So one of the other reasons I don't really like de-shedding shampoos is a lot of times they use stuff that is not exactly the most natural for your dogs. Sometimes they have stuff in it that, not all of them, some of them use natural oils and stuff, but most of them will, I don't even want to say most of them, some of them will have stuff in it. I don't think you should use like some acids that actually cause the skin to unnaturally shed, and I don't think that's a great idea, but alright, Paisley, here, look at that. Both sides are giving me a lot of hair. Like I said, I just think that the difference from a regular shampoo versus that. Okay, so I'm going to let him sit in this for about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to you guys and you'll be able to see, so just give us a little bit. Hi everybody. Okay, so we're back. It really has been 15 minutes. So I'm just going to rinse Paisley. I want to remind you in the beginning of this video that I had said we were going to use the ozonated olive oil to test it, and then it became clear to me that I didn't want to test two products against each other. I wanted more for you to understand that the possibility of using these shedding shampoos may be a waste of your time, because ultimately what I'm going to show you is actually going to be healthier for your pet and better. So we're kind of doing a little example of the difference. And so on this side of Paisley, we use a de-shedding shampoo. It's one of the top-rated de-shedding shampoos. I didn't go out and buy a cheap one to prove my point. I bought the most expensive one I could find that was safe. As I mentioned earlier in this video, some of them I don't even consider safe. They're filled with all sorts of toxic stuff. So we do offer de-shedding here, but we do it a lot differently. We use it with tools and blow dryers and all sorts of stuff that we use. I use, a lot of times I'll just condition the coat with just a leave-on conditioner just to kind of help the hair follicles a little bit. But in general, the reason I wanted to do this little experiment was to show you that you can probably just use a regular shampoo if you do all the other little tricks that I show you. Okay, so Paisley, you ready? All right, so I'm gonna take Paisley and he's gonna go on another table and I will be right back. Hi everybody. Okay, so back here with Paisley, I got my white towel. This is gonna be our big test, our big reveal, right? Remember, I'm not saying that, like a regular bath can pull out some extra undercoat that's already dead in it there. What I want this experiment to show is that a regular shampoo will work just as well as a de-shedding shampoo, so to speak. So you can put some conditioners, you can do some other things that will help. It doesn't have to be a de-shedding shampoo. But I have some tricks for you, some things that will help with shedding. I do believe that shedding is a natural thing, but excessive shedding, I think, is a sign of your dog not getting the right nutrients he needs. That's a little hint of what we're going to talk about. Paisley! Paisley! Okay, so what I'm going to do, and this was the side, his right side was the one that we used the de-shedding shampoo on, and his left side is the one we use just a very mild baby shampoo. It's not a baby shampoo, it's a puppy shampoo that we used, okay? So let's see what we got. Use our little white towel. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. Are you excited? Are you excited? Does that feel good? Okay, let's see. We want to see our towel. Hold on. Okay, Paisley. Let's see. Wait, I don't have my glasses. I can't even see any hair. What do we got, Paisley? What do we got? All right, so this is one side. Can we zoom in on that at all? This is the natural hair de-shedding. Okay, and then this over here is the one that was supposed to help us get all that hair out. And the loose hair was supposed to come out. So I don't really see much on this one. So I don't know what you guys want to take with that. How you want to, oh, don't want to touch that side with this. Hang on, sweetie. There you go. Look at all that. Dude, you have a lot of hair. I don't see the difference. I don't know if you guys see the difference. Wait, that was that side. This is this side. Hold on, Paisley. Let me see. Let me see, you little man. You are a wiggle butt. He doesn't care for this very much. So, well, that is exactly what I was trying to show you guys. That whether you use a de-shedding shampoo or you don't use a de-shedding shampoo, you're going to get very similar results. This is this dog, that side, and this is this side. We still have shedding. It's pretty much the exact same. Whoa, easy, hold on. So what I like to talk about when we're talking about shedding and dogs is these kind of things. Where is the shedding coming from? Why is your dog excessively shedding? So I'm not saying you have to use answers. I don't make any money by selling you guys certain things, but This is one product that I absolutely love. And you can go and you can get sardines if you want to get sardines, and you can get the same results from sardines. This is fermented though, and it's a fermented fish stock. And you can get a fish stock and you can add stuff like this to your pet's diet. Now I know a lot of people think I'm just going to add some salmon oil and that'll work. I'm not a fan. I don't like salmon oil added in anybody's food. If it's been processed. So salmon oil a lot of times is processed down, it goes into a little capsule, it gets, you know, shipped and heated and unheated and all of this stuff, and by the time it gets to your dog's little tummy, it has very little value to it. So I like whole food supplements, and so using stuff like sardines. So why salmon oil would work for shedding would be what they're talking about is getting the omegas in there, and you can get those yourself and your dog will be happier for it. So adding in proteins like eggs. So some people, I of course am a huge raw feeder, and I think dogs should be eating more of their natural diets. But sometimes it can be very expensive, especially if you have a big giant Labrador or a couple labs and you're trying to figure out how to add more proteins and stuff for their body. Eggs are a really good source of that. So I like duck eggs. You can get those sometimes. They're not as ready available, but I do like duck eggs. But you can do regular eggs, you can do organic eggs, you can do not organic eggs. You just need to get some more proteins, especially if your dog is a kibble-fed dog. If you have a kibble-fed dog, they're going to be eating a lot of carbohydrate, and the proteins that they're going to be eating are not going to be very good sources of protein. While they eat it, are they digesting it? And that's a whole nother conversation. So if you're flipping over your bag of food and you're like, but my food has 65% protein, what we really want to know is whether your dog's absorbing it. And so if you haven't seen any of my videos where I take pictures of poop, I would encourage it, because I have lots of pictures of poop, and I do it because I can tell the difference between a kibble-fed dog and a raw-fed dog. And the kibble-fed dog's poop is a lot more and a lot more frequent, and that's because they're not digesting a lot of the nutrients from the food. So it doesn't matter what the back of your bag says, it's more important about the bioavailable and what your dog is actually absorbing and getting. So little tricks that you can do sardines, which I love. My favorite thing to give my dogs is a sardine smoothie. I give them sardines and I mix in blueberries and bananas and I grind it all up, and then I put about a tablespoon on each of my dog's food at night. And then they're getting all of this awesome stuff. The reason why I add the blueberries and the bananas to their sardines is because sometimes sardines can be pretty rich. And so especially if you're just starting out, my dogs now can eat a whole sardine without any problems, but if you're just starting out, I would recommend adding the blueberries and bananas because it helps the stomach with the transition of different foods. And that, my friends, is when you're gonna find your dogs are shedding less. They're gonna always shed, but they're not gonna shed as much. To say that we can just, or we should be band-aiding everything when it could actually be a situation where your dog is actually needing some health issues, I think is really sad for us to do that. Now, that being said, most of the shedding shampoos that are out there, I don't think they're gonna hurt your dog. There are some that I think might, so please, if you're gonna use a de-shedding shampoo, please make sure that you're reading all of the ingredients, not just the ingredients that they advertise. Some of the ingredients in those can be pretty harsh on your dogs. And they only are temporary, right? If they are gonna work, it'll be a temporary thing. And how it's working is using like little, not acids that are bad, like boric acid is a good acid that they use even in eye wash. I'm not saying all acids are bad, but you have to be careful. But I do truly believe that just after seeing this, we don't see any difference. There's just as much hair coming off of him. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there's just as much hair coming off on this side as there is on this side. So I don't know that we're making a much difference. So I hope this video has helped you guys to see that you could be wasting your money and you would be better off spending that money on something that is going to actually help the overall health of your dog, not just band-aiding it. So, all right, guys, see you in the next video. Also, if you have any questions and you're looking for tips or tricks with your dogs, please join us at Millie's house on Facebook. We're always there to answer questions for you, little tiny things that we can answer. We have lots of admins that are always available. So a couple herbalists, vet techs, myself, nutritionists, all of us are there to help you anytime, okay? So we'll see you at Millie's house. Bye, everybody.